Mary and the Witch's Flower is the first work from Studio Ponok, a studio which was founded by multiple staff members that left Ghibli. This film may end up becoming an animated classic, which is a brilliant achievement for a new studio. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mary and the Witch's Flower. Produced by Studio Ponok, directed by Yunabashi Hiromasa, released in 2017 and adapted from a novel from 1989 by Mary Stewart called The Little Broomstick, Mary and the Witch's Flower follows a girl called Mary from rural England. Mary is constantly talked down to. Every time she tries to help someone, she causes more harm than good, which has affected her self-worth, and she has come to dislike her appearance. When she complains to a cat about her problems, the cat leads Mary into a forest where she finds a broomstick and a mysterious plant that has bloomed. The plant grants Mary magical abilities and turns the broom into a flying broomstick, which soars away with Mary and the cat riding on it high into the clouds. They appear in a magical land which cannot be found by any means other than by broom. Mary then enrolls in the most wonderful school of magical arts. However, all is not as it seems. Mary has to learn what her strengths are in order to prevent a menacing plot from causing devastation. This film has a plentiful cast of fun and interesting characters. Aside from Mary, there is Peter, a boy who lives near Mary, and he finds much pleasure in teasing Mary in a good light. Great Aunt Charlotte, who has a kind and loving nature with a twist which I deducted halfway through watching. Mrs. Banks, who is often seen doing the housework or trying to avoid Mary's help without being rude. Zebedee is the gardener, whose knowledge comes in handy for Mary. Flanagan is the retired broomstick coach who develops a soft spot for Mary and is one of the more entertaining characters in the film. Madame Mumblechook is the headmistress of the magical school. She carries a strong and dominant presence and appears to be a lovely lady who wishes nothing but the best for her students. Finally, we have Dr. D, the science teacher who travels around the school in the most bizarre contraption. The film is about coming to terms with your strengths and weaknesses and playing with your strengths. This is reflected in both our hero characters and villains. The villains, however, refuse to move on and are stuck trying to improve things which are proven to fail and cause harm. Mary and the Witch's Flower is a film which takes its time to tell its story. It is not a very flashy film, but prefers to capture each moment sparingly. For Studio Ponok's first animated feature, they created a masterpiece of a film, with an excellent balancing act between delivering the story and characters in a digestible manner. This film has a similar style to what you would expect from Ghibli. The character designs do look slightly more like they're from Disney than Ghibli, such as using smaller eyes and more realistic body proportions, which may make this studio more accepted from Western audiences. Their eyes may be smaller because the characters are English and the animators wanted to accurately capture the look of not just the scenery of rural England, but also the look of its inhabitants. The characters have distinct designs and they are all very colourful. No one wears a single colour for their shirt, which is pleasing to see as it shows the animators spent a lot of time and effort crafting these characters. The background artwork is absolutely stunning, whether that be rural England or the magical lands. Having lived in the country, I can see the creators capture the exact look and feel of the countryside to their artwork. They even used real-world locations for some of the locations in the film. This film's animation is completely fluid, like an early Disney movie, where the movement's not only fluid but also expresses the characters' emotions in movement and their body language. For example, Mary is very outgoing and her movement displays that. The details of the characters and artwork is spectacular. The beginning of this film caught me by surprise at just how well detailed Red Manor is on both the outside and inside. There is not a shot in this film where the beauty of the artwork is missed. The colour on display is marvellous, the grass is lush green, the spells are vibrant, the fire is bold, and the flower's goo is a vivid blue. There is not a scene where the image is so dark that you cannot see the picture, and when the film gets bright, it becomes a perfect opportunity for the animators to display the splendour and beauty of the colours. The soundtrack was composed by Kimura Eriko. The soundtrack is comprised of songs which convey a lot of heartfelt emotion. The soundtrack can funnel the wonder and charm of a magical world or press the urgency of the situation. This soundtrack keeps the viewer immersed in the wondrous world this film has to show. The sound effects blend with the film naturally. The sounds of the country, including the birds and insect noises, were identical to actually being there. The magical sounds are enchanting, from the swoosh of a broomstick to the cast of a spell. This movie is another rare case where the UK release got a surround sound mix in both the English and Japanese languages. All of the speakers were used to great effect. The action scenes had these gooey aeroplanes flying around the room, and I actually looked to my left because it sounded like an aeroplane was heading towards me. The music was always present and no sound effects overshadowed the others. It is a very crisp and clear surround experience that I look forward to hearing again. The front and centre channels are as present as the surround speakers, which enhances your immersiveness into the film. There are even Hollywood films which do not get this balance right. The subwoofer delivers a lot of bass during the action sequences and scenes where something like a large amount of water is rising, reserving the bass for a more impactful effect. When it comes to the dub and sub, I would strongly suggest dub. This film is not only set in England, but it also contains actors and actresses from rural England. Ruby Barnhill does an excellent job as Mary, especially since she's both a child actress and it's her first film role. Lewis Ashbourne Serkis is Andy Serkis's son, and this is his second film, and he does a fantastic job as Peter. Kate Winslet, who played Rose in the modern classic Titanic, plays Madame Mumblechook. Jim Broadbent, who's been in a number of films such as Harry Potter and Hot Fuzz, plays Dr. D. One of my favourite roles in the film went to Ewan Bremer, who's known for Trainspotting, and Linda Barron plays Great Aunt Charlotte perfectly. She's known for her role in the iconic children's series Come Outside. Mary and the Witch's Flower is beautiful, with well thought out messages, and captures the magic of youthfulness and literal magic. This film is a step in the right direction for Studio Ponnock. I give Mary and the Witch's Flower the classification of Watch Before You Die, which is only given to the greatest there is, and anime you cannot avoid. If you've already seen Mary and the Witch's Flower and are seeking alternate recommendations, then I will point you in the direction of Kiki's Delivery Service, an animated movie from Ghibli which tells the story of a young girl who's left home to begin her life as a witch. My other recommendation is Little Witch Academia, a beautiful series following Akko as she fearlessly joins a magical academy and meets many challenges along the way. Thank you for watching.